We got starting with the Bills and Dolphins game. We have Josh Allen with the Bills going ahead and taking care of business with them. And we got the Dolphins.
Yeah, two teams that had a clunky season. I feel like the Bills had a lot of issues that they had to work through. Josh Allen, since week 6, has been ranked in the 20s. He was the 26th ranked quarterback in the NFL. 30th in completion percentage. He struggled to get it done with the Bills. Their offense was kind of inconsistent. Still don't have a run game. And then there were just some games that they found themselves in that just shouldn't have been there. So clunky regular season. Then they obviously have the tragedy with Damar Hamlin. Thankfully, he's out of the hospital feeling well in a tough game versus the Bengals. And then they get to the number 2 seed. Good for the Buffalo Bills. And then Miami. We mentioned it last episode, but we're going to bring it up again just to preview it. Start the year really hot. Look like world beaters. Then Tua goes down. You struggle in those games, which is understandable when you have Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, maybe haven't built the same rapport. They haven't been hanging out in the kitchen washing Tua's dishes like Tyreek Hill claimed he was doing. So don't really have the same chemistry with Teddy Bridgewater and the backup, the third string quarterback. And then Tua gets a concussion, goes down again, and then going into the playoffs, you kind of limp in there. You had to beat the Jets, who don't really know what they want to be. They were starting Joe Flacco at quarterback, and you played them in a field goal competition. End up beating them 11-6, which may be the worst NFL score I've ever seen in my life. And then here we are. So it's like, if Tua's not in this game, there's only so much Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle end arounds you can do. There's so many short passes. And then we saw how the Bills flipped the switch in the playoffs last year. Josh Allen played a perfect game. They annihilated the Patriots. It's like, well, who do I have to pick? Gun to my head. Obviously, it's the Bills. When they played this year as a 1-possession game, Mike McDaniels coached a great game in both of those, but Tua was the quarterback. Tua's not playing. Sorry, there's no chance that the Dolphins have to win this game, especially versus the Buffalo Bills. Playing inspired football, playing for Damar.
Yeah, no, if there's any team that the Dolphins don't want to face right now, it's the Bills. First of all, they're familiar with them. They know what to expect against the Dolphins. And it's not like you're facing Tua had a great game against the Bills when they faced off against each other earlier in the season. Like we'd mentioned, won 3 games in a row, lost 3 games in a row, won 5 games in a row, lost 5 games in a row, one game in a row, and now this might be the game that they lose. Right now, Vegas has the Bills favored at 9.5, and I honestly think this spread is very right on the dot, honestly. I don't see in playoff games, I know last year, most of the games were under. So over-under is 46. I think I would take the under in this game. I think it's going to be for the Bills. I mean, Josh Allen, if he plays like he did last postseason, he's playing perfect football, they're going to torch the Dolphins. And it's not even going to be close. I mean, the Dolphins might not even put up any points. Skyroll Thompson, there's only so much that Tyreek can do. Also, another thing we need to consider is that Tyreek and Jalen Waddle might not even play in this game. Imagine the Dolphins actually go into this game with their third string quarterback and they don't have their number 2 wide receivers.
Yeah. And they were hobbled last game, clearly got injured. When Tyreek Hill went to the sideline, it looked like he didn't want to play in that game, looked like he didn't want to be there. Jalen Waddle was playing his ass off in that game, but again, third string quarterback couldn't do it. Couldn't bring them any touchdowns in that game. It was 11-6, just the most disgusting score I've ever seen when you're going up against Joe Flacco. It's like, come on. And then I get the Jets defense is good, but they were frustrated in that game. Clearly there's some emotions boiling over because Sauce Gardner was matching up one-on-one with Tyreek Hill, and then Tyreek Hill, end of a play, just shoves him out of the way. He's like, get out of my face. I'm sick of you covering me. So got under his skin, and then Tyreek Hill sent a message to the Bills defense. He's like, y'all better watch out. Remember what I did to you last year? And then Tyreek Hill came out and he's like, well, they didn't give me A.J. Brown money, who was traded a month after me. They didn't target me enough last year, and I'd go games where I'd only see the ball 2 to 3 times when he was got the most targets of his career last year. And then it's like, oh, right, Patrick Mahomes was throwing you the ball last year. You were able to do all those things to the defense with the combination of your speed and having the biggest arm in the NFL who can throw at any angle, falling away, crossbody. Every throw you shouldn't make, Patrick Mahomes can make and make it better than a traditional pocket passer can make a pass. So it's like, no, you don't even have Tua throwing you balls. You don't have Patrick Mahomes throwing you balls. So it's like, you have no shot in Buffalo. If Tua plays, I think they cover just because it was a close game last time they went to Buffalo. But again, played a close game versus the Patriots, then had a game where you kind of blew them out last year, and then you came out and absolutely eviscerated them. And that's what I expect in this game.
I expect this game to be a lot like the Pats and Bills game last game, except for, well, not last game, but last year, I mean, when they just absolutely torched the Dolphins. And I think that's going to be the same this game. I think they go in there, they got something to prove. The Bills, they know that they need to win a Super Bowl. They know that this is a good year for it. You know, Patrick Mahomes doesn't have the receivers that he had last year. They have an advantage. The Bengals, they know them. They might not have to even face the Bengals potentially, depending on matchups. So that's something that they look forward to. And then outside of that, it's like really just the Chiefs and the Bengals and everybody else you should beat. You should beat the Ravens if they make it past you. You should beat the Dolphins, and you should beat the Jaguars if you go up head-to-head with them on paper. So this is the Bills' year. If they want to get the Super Bowl, this is the year for them to do so. And they're going to take care of business against the Dolphins. I see a torch.
Yeah.
Now, before we pivot to the other games,